Hello everybody and welcome to the Harrison County Library Systems online computer classes. My name is Jeff Conwell and this is our resume and online job workshop. First of all, we're going to talk about writing a resume with Microsoft Word. What is a resume? A resume is simply a marketing tool to get your foot in the door. Hiring managers use resumes to screen potential employees. For you, a resume is a tool designed to get to the next step in the employment process, which is just the interview. You got to think of your resume as being your own 30-second infomercial. It's where you're going to sell your talents and skills to the people who want what you can do. What should you include on a resume? Your contact info, professional summary or goal, employment history, education, additional skills and info, and finally references. Your contact info, it's who you are, that is your name, how to contact you with an up-to-date address, telephone, and email address. And it's usually at the top of the resume. A summary statement tells employers the most important things they need to know about you. Most hiring managers now want you to use the term professional summary instead of goal, but a goal is used for people who are just out of college or high school, and it's usually never more than 2 or 3 sentences long, like a construction worker with 10 plus years experience in all aspects of the field. I mean, that's all you would have to put. Your employment history is your detailed work experience, but it's not necessary to put all your work experience, just your past experience as it relates to the job that you're applying for. 2 of the most common formats are chronological and functional. A chronological resume, which is preferred by most nowadays, starts from the most recent job to the first job, each section broken down by employer, job title, dates worked for each employer. Skills required are usually listed below this info or may be summarized in columns above the experience header. I feel like this latter way of doing it is more efficient. They have less to read through. A functional resume focuses on your skills area and includes employers' names without the dates you worked. That is, if you have work gaps in your history. But one of the things that you don't have to worry about is all this stuff will come out in the interview, so you didn't worry about the dates. They do like the dates, though, if you can put it. More than 90% of employers now are placing resumes directly into searchable databases. Very few employers nowadays still prefer to receive resumes by email. Either way, this means that it's an absolute must these days to have a formatted print resume in document form that you can send as an attachment to an email message to the employer, and a text-based or ASCII text that's stripped of all formatting, e-resume, which can be pasted directly into the email message sent to the employer. It can also be pasted into application resume submission forms on online job sites. Your education history simply tells where and when you went to school, what degrees you earned, and which programs or certifications you completed. It can also include professional development activities such as workshops, conferences, or seminars that you attended while pursuing your career. In my instance, if I was ever applying for a job in another library system, God forbid, I would end up putting that I attended several years ago a Librarianship Institute 101, which was a seminar, a weekend seminar that I spent up in Jackson. It was very productive, and I would be proud to put that onto my resume. References includes names and contact of 2 or 3 people who you know well for at least 3 years whom you can trust to give a good testimony of your work skills, experience, and personal character. Excuse me. It's always polite, though, to ask for their permission to allow you to list them and their contact info. Tips for writing a great resume: and customize your resume for each position that you're submitting it for. That means don't put, if you have several different areas of work that you've done, like I've worked, excuse me, as a waiter, as a cook, as a bookseller, as a librarian. I mean, that's like 4 different resumes. I could make a resume out just from those jobs. And so whatever job that you're applying for, that's the one that you're going to customize it with all the experience that relates to the job that you're applying for, okay? So you can customize your resume for each position that you're applying for. You want to make sure that the rest of your resume supports your summary statement, profile, or objective. If you're saying, for instance, that you're, in your summary statement, you're a waiter with 10 plus years experience, and then you talk about the time that you were a construction worker, it may not look so good. So make sure the rest of your resume supports your summary statement. And you can also include keywords on your resume. Those are strong words that build up your resume. In a minute, we'll look at a list of these keywords. And also, it's important to be concise. You never want to be very wordy with your resume. Most people prefer resumes to be one page long. And then finally, you can list, if you list your past work accomplishments, not just your responsibility, using some concrete form of measures, that looks really good. So for instance, if in 2019, I helped create workshops, increase sales, put down in 2019, I facilitated workshops and helped increase sales by 5%. So this is a resume keywords list. You can go on the internet, you just Google resume keywords list, and you'll find something similar to this, but they really do help build your resume. If you want to say, for instance, you facilitated workshops instead of you made workshops, or if you delivered presentations instead of you made presentations or did presentations, you designed, artwork instead of you created artwork. Well, creative is still a good word, but you see what I mean. The key to this is use words that you would use, that you know. If you don't know a lot of these words, don't worry about it, but just try to use some fancy words to vary your word choice from what's on your resume, okay? For a great resume design, use white space and bullet points to help emphasize what you want the hiring manager to know about you. The white space makes it easy to read and also gives them space to make notes. And I also tell them to rest their tired eyeballs on, especially if they've looked at 100 resumes in a single day, because they really do go through a lot. So if you got a clean looking resume, it's going to make a big impression. Some ways to make sure that your resume is easy to read include using the same verb tense consistently. You don't want to jump back and forth between the past and present tense. You just use the present tense if you're going to use the present tense, and use the past tense if you're going to use the past tense. You vary your word choice using those keywords. You can use bold font for your headers, like for your name and for your where it says summary and experience, education, etc. And then a larger point as well. And you want to use an easy to read conservative font. And if you got a pencil right now, write down the word Tahoma, Tahoma. When I was doing a PowerPoint seminar here at the library, the guy always recommended it for being one of the easiest to read fonts there is, that the people in the back of the room could read what's up on the screen. That's almost the same ratio perspective for a person holding a piece of paper in front of their face. So use Tahoma if you don't know which kind of font to use. And also, the space we talked about before helps people write notes on and be able to read it easier. You can use spell check and spell review. If you go to the review tab in Word, there's a thing that says review and it says spelling and grammar, but it's not always correct. It's always a good idea to get another person to look at it just to get their opinion. To avoid the no pile, don't submit your resume for a position for which you're not qualified. Don't lie. Don't disregard references. Don't use more than 2 fonts. You don't want to make your resume to look like a ransom note. Don't use clip art on your resume. Don't include your pictures. Although I will say people in Asia and in some big cities do use pictures. Don't include personal or health-related information. Remember, all of that stuff will come out in the interview. Don't include salary information unless asked. And finally, don't misspell anything. Okay? And this is going to be on the sample of a resume that I made up as a template. I'll be happy to send it to you if you drop me a line. Again, my name is Jeff Conwell, and my email is librarydude1999@gmail.com. But you see how it's set up. You got your address, telephone, and email above the name. The name, of course, is going to be the biggest size font that you have, and it's in bold. Below that, you got your summary statement. Then you just tell you 1 or 2 sentences about yourself. You got a bulleted list of skills, and then you're going to have below that your experience, and you just simplify it by putting the date, the position, the company name, and the location. Below that, you put your education with the date, degree earned, and your institute name and the location. And finally, below that, you put references, and you can always just put available upon request. So anyway, so now we're going into the next part of this present workshop, which is how to apply for a job online. And before I begin with that, I want to tell you, with COVID and all this stuff going on, employers are hurting for workers, for employees. You should have absolutely no problem finding a job nowadays. They desperately want the talents and skills that you have to offer them. You just got to let them know that you're there. And to apply for a job online, every place you go to now, almost every place requires you to create an account online, okay? But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go into everything about that. You want to prioritize your listings that match your skill sets directly, meaning you want to look for jobs that you're actually qualified for. To fill out forms quickly, you always need to answer the question boxes that are marked with the little star or asterisk by them. You can never leave the other questions, if they don't have that little star by them, unanswered. To be sure to fill out the forms correctly. If you can't go to the next page, be sure to look for the error message. It's usually written at the top. Most of the times it's just a simple matter of inputting your data correctly. Like if they ask you for a 4-digit year and you put a 2-digit year, you won't be able to go to the next page. And the same thing about the little asterisks. If you don't fill out everything that they're requiring you to fill out, you won't be able to go to the next step. And when asked for your salary, you can just write $1, $10, $100, so you can fill in the blank, but don't scotch a compensation negotiation in advance. And another tip is, a lot of employers are still offering bonuses for people just for being hired. So be on the lookout for that. On other questions, like a request for references, especially if you're unemployed, you can write available upon request or just to be discussed. Do tailor your resume to the listings to make sure it includes keywords. Check the list of the keywords you got from your web search. If you want to write a concise cover letter that specifically addresses the job's requirements, you can do that. And that's just a matter of like introducing yourself. Dear sir, ma'am, I found out about this job through a friend, and I really feel like I could be a good contribution to your company. Attached is a copy of my resume, and I really, something like that. And then most important is to search your virtual and face-to-face network for a connection to the job you want. Of course, face-to-face, nothing beats going into a store and telling the people, hey, I put my application in online here. Are y'all still hiring? And then just, every now and then show up. They've also got the virtual network, which is something like LinkedIn, which if you're not familiar with it, it's like Facebook, but for businesses, where you can get your friends, your acquaintances on LinkedIn to give a testimony, like your references, about your job skills. You may, through LinkedIn, even find your interviewer and see what they're about. You can do research on their company. All this stuff that makes a big impression on people when you go in for an interview. And Facebook itself has even got jobs applied for now, but you can find out about jobs through Facebook from the people, as well as just looking up the company name. The two main requirements for jobs are email address and resume. And because we have already discussed a lot about resume, I'm going to glide through that. But as far as email sites go, you've got this big list here. You got, going from left to right, top to bottom, you've got Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, ProtonMail, AOL, Zoho, GMX, iCloud, Yandex, and Mail.com. All of these are really, really good. I have a preference for Gmail simply because when you go to a job site and they say you want to upload a resume, a lot of times they will give you an option to upload your resume from Google Drive. If you have a Gmail account, you automatically have access to Google Drive, and that means as long as you're signed in to Google Drive, the information on your resume will get transferred from that site to the other site. Actually, it's just copied. It's not going to go away from your Google Drive. They'll have access it so the file gets transferred without you ever having to download it to the computer and forgetting that you have it on a public computer, and then people come and steal your identity. Okay? But use Google Drive or any of these and you'll be fine. Another recommendation is create an account simply for the purpose of looking for a job. And if you do that, you won't miss that all-important notification that says, hey, we want you to come in for an interview. You know, if you've had an email account for forever, it's going to get buried with all the other mail. So create an email account solely for the purpose of looking for a job. Okay? Now, we went through resume, but I will say one thing. If you create a resume through Google Drive, you don't ever have to save it, but I would recommend people to name their resumes with their first name, their last name, the word resume, and then the date. The name and the word resume after that will help the people know that that is not like a virus or something. There's actually what the content of the file is. But the date is for you because everybody knows you might have 5 different resumes in a year's time. You want to know what the most recent one is. All you have to do is look at the date. And finally, when you create a resume, the hardest thing about a resume is actually just sitting out there and typing it. But you can print it, you can email it to yourself, you can have it on Google Drive, or you even save it to a little flash drive, a little USB for easy access. So that way, if you break your phone and you got to get a new phone number and you have to change it, you won't have a problem. Also, if you do it with Word or Google Docs, you won't have to go and pay a subscription to a company that just, you get on the internet and you see where it says resume and you go to that site, it creates a PDF, but a PDF won't let you go back and change it. You have to have a paid subscription to the people who make the PDF program. So if you do it with resume in Microsoft Word or Google Drive, you've got free access to change whatever you need to on your resume. Okay? Now, we already went through the resume body. Let's go to picking out a job website. You always want to first just to try to Google the actual name of the store, restaurant, or business where you would like to work, and then you just add the word careers. This way you're going to be choosing the official website of the company, and you're not walking into like an infomercial or some job search company, which isn't bad, but I always think it's easiest if you go directly to the horse's mouth, so to speak, and start the application there. But a lot of times you'll have to scroll down to the bottom where it says job opportunities. Now this is a list of a bunch of different job sites from different direct companies, and you can see how there's go through it and where the word careers is listed. If you go to the hospital, everybody can imagine how badly they need staff. So when you go, let me do it again. Okay. This is opening up the Gulfport Memorial website, waiting for it to load. Because Google Chrome works so much faster, I may actually just try to load this on Google Chrome to open up. So let me copy this out and go to Chrome, or let's use Chrome. Okay, well here's the site now. Okay, if you look right there at the top, and I'm gonna make the screen bigger so you can see it. Oh, too far. Okay, you see up there, right at the top, it says Career Opportunities. So when you click on that, it's going to open up and you'll be able to see how to apply for the job online. My internet's going too slow for me today. Let me see here. And do what I originally said I was going to do. I'm going to copy the web address and go use Chrome. Chrome is built for speed, and that's one reason why I like it so much. Oop. Maybe it is coming up again. Okay. Paste and go. Might just be that my internet selection has gone slow today. Anyway. Okay. Here I go to Career Opportunities. I'm clicking on that link. And since I'm not already employed with the hospital, I click External Applicants. And this will give me a list of different filters through like jobs listed, posted in the last 30 days, view all jobs. And what you do is, let's go to the jobs posted in the last 30 days. And let me get further back from the screen so you can see. Like I'm here in Gulfport, there's 101 positions offered. That's the filters. And so if you want to be a pulmonary physician, if you got clinics, they need that, of course, with COVID. You click on the position that you want to apply for, and then you click, you see all the requirements there and their experience you're looking for. You can actually tweak your resume to have a lot of the wording that they use for the application to make it to where if they have programs, they call them bots, that read the content of your resume, and that's before an actual person will read it. If enough of the same words that they have that they're looking for are flagged, then an actual person will look at the resume, and then next thing you know, you get our call in for an interview. But just to apply for the job, you simply click Apply for the Job, and because you've never been here before, you click Register Now, and then after you've been here and you've created an account, you're going to click Username and Sign In. But when you click Register Now, you see, let me get up close with this again. You see the little dots, I mean the little asterisks I was telling you about. This will tell you what you want to, you put your username in, and then for your password, you got to fill all these requirements. It's got a minimum of 6 characters long with at least 2 digits, 1 lowercase character, and 1 special character. And you got to, fill all this stuff out, and then next thing you know, you can put in your resume and all that other stuff. I will tell you one thing that is very helpful when you're looking for a job. Keep yourself a little book or something, or put it on your phone that's got all your all your logins and emails for the different job sites. Now, if you go into a place where people spend money, they're not going to have careers right at the top. They have the help always listed down there at the bottom. So say if I go to Walmart, I don't know why that happened. Okay, let me go Walmart, verify your identity. They don't want that. I'm just going to go Google Walmart.com on Google Chrome. Now, what happens if I put Walmart careers? Okay, let's just hit enter with Walmart to see how confusing it can be when you're applying for a job. So I go to Walmart.com. I'm going to allow it to know my location. I really don't know why it's asking me for my information. That's new. Okay, I'm not even signed in. Okay, there's no place here that says careers, okay? So what you got to do is you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. You can go page down too instead of scrolling with the bar, but you don't see careers anywhere listed, do you? I don't either. So let me go. What happens if I put Walmart careers? I tell you, if you wait a couple of weeks, everybody always changes their web page. So don't feel too bad if you get lost with all this stuff. Now I'm going to Walmart careers, and I go right to where I need to go. So what you do, you look for, let's say, Walmart store jobs, search all openings, and then I'm going to find different jobs from all over the place. Let's just say instead of all locations, I'm going to put 39503 and search for that. And notice it still has its various jobs. But this is a filters thing on the side, and they probably just have you put in your application, that's the hiring center. You click that, you read the terms. You click next, and you have to create an account. And you put in your email. Notice it's got the little star by it. I don't know if you can see that. But anyway, you create an account and you apply for the jobs. I'm going to hit the back button because I want to see okay, continue again. Agree to that. And it said browse jobs. Search jobs. And this is going to be for the location. You put in the zip code 39503 and see if I can find a job listed. Okay, there's a job listed at the neighborhood market right up the street from us. So I click on that position, I click next, and borderline, so you entry level, you click on that job or view details, and we'll give you the job description, and that's one way you can do that is just by one way you can create your resume is by using that job description to help tweak your resume. But you got to create an account and submit your information. So there's many different ways that you can apply for jobs online. And I think, let's do one more. I'm going to go to, Hancock Bank. And you don't see careers there listed. Another little neat trick with Microsoft that you can do, they've got where you can find in this page with Microsoft. This is actually, I think, Internet Explorer, ancient browser that it is. I can click, Tools. I think it's Tools. Find in page. No, I don't see it. But if I open this up in Chrome, paste and go, it is taking a minute. So you don't see careers that are listed, but if you look on the very far right-hand side of the screen, I don't know why I closed that out, sorry, I didn't mean to. Okay, now if you click on the very far left-hand side of the screen, those three dots, it says Find in Page. And so I'm going to add the word careers. And it's going to go right down to the bottom where it's listed. So you click on that and you search for current job opportunities and you put your information in. It'll show you what job's supposed to. Teller full-time in Gulfport. So you click on that and then you click apply. And you can apply autofill with the resume. It's going to have all your stuff filled out because you've already had your resume. And when you click on that, it's going to ask you to upload your resume, but you have to create an account to do all that. And they'll give you the information. Okay? And then, besides going to the horse's mouth, sometimes you go to a site and you can't even find it. If you did Premium Outlets Gulfport, because it's got so many different businesses, it's not going to have what you need to get there. You have to go by the company name directly. But this is the 10 best job searches sites in 2021. You've got Indeed, Monster, Glassdoor, FlexJobs, if you want to get a remote job. For a manager, the Ladders is good. Startup Jobs is AngelList, not Angie's List, but AngelList. If with recruiters to make contact directly with somebody you might be interviewing for a job, it's really good to have one posted on LinkedIn. You can get up-to-date listings with Get Work, and recent college grads go to Scouted, and hourly workers with Snagajob. And this is a listing of the top Mississippi Gulf Coast employers. Beau Rivage, RPM Pizza, which is Domino's, Harrah's, Hollywood Casino, Memorial Hospital, Singing River Health System, Island View Casino, Asplund Tree Expert, and Hard Rock Casino and Hotel in Biloxi. Well, like I said, if you got any questions, please drop me a line. My name is Jeff Conwell, And you can reach me at librarydude1999@gmail.com. I will be happy to send you the template for the resume that I made that you saw earlier. And I hope and pray you guys really have success with finding a job. You should not have any problem whatsoever. And thank you for watching this program. Best of luck to you all. Thank you.